What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new video, new vibes on my YouTube channel. You're always welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Keionna, for those of you who don't know. And as always, please make sure you guys are signed into YouTube to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the notification bell to join the notification crew and sprinkle some love on that like button to better help this channel grow. If you're new to this channel, welcome. And if you are a returning subscriber, you may already know that I run a book club here on YouTube called Reading Out Loud Book Club. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys our book club pick for the month of February. So this is going to be sort of like our chit chat and or discussion board for the book that we've read, which is an endearing and surprisingly witty read. We read The Nest by Cynthia D'Aprix Sweeney, and look at this cover. This is such an eye-catching cover. You can't miss this cover. This is a novel and it was published 7 years ago from today, and to my surprise, this is the author's debut novel. I'm gonna put this book down now because I feel like this kind of like the cover kind of takes away from the lighting. I have so many great thoughts after reading this book that I'm super excited to share with you guys, and I really hope that you guys will read along with me and my book club and discuss the books that we read here with me on YouTube. This story takes place in New York City, and it starts out with its plot, which is different from most books that I read, where the plot is usually somewhere in the middle or at the end of the book. There is this traumatic accident that impacts the future of a young woman and 4 siblings of the dysfunctional and estranged Plum family. Just a few months before their trust fund is supposed to be distributed to each sibling in the family, the eldest Plum, Leo, wipes out their trust fund almost completely by default due to the accident that he was responsible for, thus jeopardizing the plans that each sibling had with their share of the money. Okay, so I had to just fix my hair for a little bit. It's coming down. Leo is our protagonist, and he is sort of a wild card, which causes his family to really be concerned about his decision making as it pertains to them. Leo definitely takes the cake for pulling the attention away from the rest of his family with his reckless and sometimes selfish behavior. That is just the gist of the storyline, and with that being said, this book wasn't exactly what I had expected, and it was everything like I had expected all at the same time, because it's sort of mundane with a hint of drama here and there. In this story, we are navigating family dynamics and the super lush and super lavish world of wealth that the author navigates us through. This is a 3-part novel, and essentially we are just following the family members all around New York City for a good majority of the book. All 4 of the siblings lead totally different lives, and they find it hard to get along with each other, hence the reason why they're estranged. They don't celebrate holidays or birthdays together. The most obvious thing that brings the siblings together is their trust fund, which took on the name The Nest. That's the name that they gave their inheritance, and ironically enough, they don't really talk much about the nest in this novel. Like, there's only brief moments where they actually talk about their inheritance. This book has a somewhat sentimental value to me because this book was actually recommended to me by one of my peers a long time ago, and I decided to read this book for our book club because of its complexity. I feel like this is a great selection for our book club because I feel like these voices really needed to be uplifted, and I'm really happy that I am able to do that. This novel is domestic fiction, which is like a subcategory of fiction, and let me just say that I really love this genre, especially after reading this novel. When I think about reading for pleasure, this is the type of novel that I'm looking for, the kind that actually makes me think about what I'm reading and gets me to delve a little bit deeper and connect with myself on an emotional level, as well as get me to view life from a different point of view, almost as if I'm living vicariously through the characters, all while still keeping me entertained and on my toes. This story is complex because of the many different characters, the personalities and voices that all make up this story. Any novel that's about a trust fund split between family members, or just a novel that involves money in general, there's bound to be some level of complexity involved, and in this case, the parameters set by the trust fund are what makes this book complex, and that's sort of what intrigued me to read this book. It oddly reminds me of Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, just because Daisy Jones and the Six, they were sort of like a family. The thing to remember here is that these are real live adult and middle-aged voices, which is what makes this book so different from books that I'm used to reading, because I'm used to reading a lot of YA. So this novel gave aging a new meaning for me, as most of the characters have kids or successful careers or settled down in life. The author really tells each of these characters' stories in an interestingly witty kind of way. It relives some of the stories from their past, and this family is very messy. Not too bad, but they're definitely a messy family. Some of the characters sort of felt aloof to me, like there wasn't any real connection with self, and that was sort of frustrating for me to read through a little bit. But one thing that I did find interesting is that some of the characters are actually in the publishing industry, and writing sort of runs in their family. I didn't lose interest in this family, and I think it's because the story is told in a personal, sort of open book kind of way, where each character is flawed in their own way and they're sort of transparent about that. This is definitely an important book to me because I feel like it reflects back some of the hopes and the dreams that I have for my own life. I think aside from getting to know the characters and this family, that this book really makes us think about our own desires, wants, and needs aside from money, like things that you can't buy, such as like happiness or like real value connection with yourself, which is something that the Plum family had a hard time finding within themselves. There were a host of supporting characters, and this story was sort of slow paced, but overall I think that this was a very well written and thought-provoking read. Some important takeaways that I found are it really makes us rethink who we trust with our darkest secrets, and it taught me how a trust fund works and how priceless and delicate life can really be. And I'm really happy that I was recommended this book all those years ago. That is all for this book discussion. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you watched the video to the very end, you're a real one. Leave me a white heart emoji in the comment section down below to let me know that you guys are here. Also follow me on my Instagram and my Twitter at With Love Keionna. And I will see you guys in our next discussion video right here. Until next time, bye.